Many friendly Americans are waiting to welcome Sir Abubakar to his home in Washington. During his stay in the American capital, the distinguished visitor will reside at the Blair House, the special residence for guests of the American president. Just across the street from the Blair House is the White House, where President Kennedy awaits Prime Minister Balewa. The two leaders are meeting to discuss matters of mutual and international interest. In a joint communique summarizing the outcome of their deliberations, they reaffirm their support for the principle of self-determination for dependent peoples and their unalterable opposition to racial discrimination under any name or in any guise. President Kennedy expressed his pleasure at the success of the Monrovia Conference and congratulated the Prime Minister on his constructive contribution. The two leaders affirmed their confidence that their exchange of views had strengthened the bonds of friendship between their two countries. The next stop for Sir Abubakar is a memorial to one of America's best-loved presidents, Abraham Lincoln. The Lincoln Memorial is a goal for every visitor to the American capital. Tourists from all over the world are drawn by a reverence for the man known by all men as the great emancipator. As they stand before the statue of Lincoln, the Prime Minister and his party remember the words in which Lincoln addressed his countrymen. He called upon them to do all which may achieve and cherish a just and lasting peace among ourselves and with all nations. Sir Abubakar and his party see a monument to America's first president, George Washington, as they leave the Lincoln Memorial. A group of children proudly display the placard which Prime Minister Balewa has autographed for them. The United States Department of State is the Prime Minister's next stop. An exhibit of photographs from Nigeria and of Nigerian arts and crafts has been planned to coincide with Sir Abubakar's visit. This exhibit is aimed at helping Americans to understand the progress being made in Nigeria. Prime Minister Balewa is once again warmly greeted by Secretary of State Dean Rusk. The meeting affords an occasion for the two men and their advisors to confer on a wide variety of subjects. The House of Representatives of the United States invites Prime Minister Balewa to speak in a special session convened in his honor.
I regard it as a signal honor and privilege to be invited to address this world-famed gathering, not only because the United States of America is one of the leading nations of the world and one of the most powerful and advanced on earth today, but also because I believe that those who have struggled and worked to achieve independence will share with you and the great country which you represent a special meaning of liberty, of freedom from outside control, and opportunities for the fulfillment of one's national desires and cultural heritage. No one who visits the United States of America will fail to notice the effects of a free society and of a democratic system of government in which the rulers are the embodiments of the will of the people and where the activity of those who rule are reviewed frankly from time to time by the entire population. We admire the American way of life, and we respect the people of the United States for their love of freedom. The spirit of freedom which was kindled in the hearts of the founders of your great nation and has impelled you to great feats in moments of national emergency, as well as in your daily activities. That same spirit has shown itself in Africa, and we are determined that the flame of freedom once alight shall not go out again in our continent.
The Islamic Center and Mosque is one of the American capital's more beautiful religious structures. Al-Haji Sir Abu Bakr arrives to visit the mosque, which is a center for study and research on Islam. Dr. Mahmoud Hobala, the director of the Islamic Center, greets Prime Minister Balewa. Dr. Hobala personally conducts his distinguished visitor on a tour of the center and answers the Prime Minister's questions about its varied activities. When Sir Abu Bakr visited the United States in 1955, the Islamic Center had not yet been completed. The Prime Minister is impressed by its finished state and also by America's interest in Islam. The chiefs of mission of the African nations hold a special reception in honor of Prime Minister Balewa and his party. Present at this gala occasion are Ambassador and Mrs. Udochi and many other distinguished official and diplomatic dignitaries. The gathering provides Prime Minister Balewa with an opportunity to renew a number of old friendships and to talk informally with new acquaintances and old friends alike. The National Press Club, whose membership includes distinguished world journalists, is one of the most influential forces on public opinion in the United States. Prime Minister Balewa, in response to a special invitation, addresses its members and then replies to their questions.
I would like to thank you, Mr. President, and the executive members of your organization for giving me the opportunity to address such a distinguished gathering.
The Prime Minister tells his audience that he is greatly encouraged by the increased interest that the United States is demonstrating in Nigeria and in other African nations. He states his belief that close association among African nations is of great importance, especially in the fields of health, transport, and communications. Speaking about the United Nations, he emphasizes that it is the only means of holding the world together.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you.
Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, was the site in 1863 of one of the decisive battles in the American Civil War. The war, sometimes known as the War Between the States, began in 1861 and ended in 1865. The Battle of Gettysburg was a turning point in the war, which ended in the defeat of the rebel forces. Sir Abubakar requested that his visit to the United States include a tour of this famous battlefield. That evening, Prime Minister Balewa gives a dinner in honor of President Kennedy. President Kennedy and Senator Hubert Humphrey engage Prime Minister Balewa in a few moments of informal conversation. Leaving Washington on July 28th, Prime Minister Balewa flies to Chicago. Northwestern University, near Chicago, is one of America's leading educational institutions. At the invitation of its president, Sir Abubakar and his party visit the university, which is well known for its African Studies program. Before touring the African Studies Center, the Prime Minister and his party signed the university's guest book. Professor Melville Herskovits, head of the African Studies Center, escorts Sir Abubakar to the African Studies reading room. Northwestern University has a collection of 20,000 volumes on Africa. Professor Herskovits presents his honored guest with a collection of books on Africa published by the university. The Prime Minister tells the students and faculty at Northwestern that he is glad to see their interest in Africa. He adds that he soon expects Nigerian scholars to produce books like those at Northwestern, and congratulates the university on its foresight. Later that day, Prime Minister Balewa attends a reception in his honor given by the mayor of Chicago, Richard J. Daley. At the reception, Sir Abubakar is made an honorary citizen of Chicago, the nation's second largest city, with a population of over 3 million. Mayor Daley says that Prime Minister Balewa represents all that symbolizes progress, freedom, unity, and faith. On the 6th day of his visit to America, Sir Abubakar travels by plane to Knoxville, Tennessee. There, Sir Abubakar visits the Fort Loudoun Dam, part of the Tennessee Valley Authority, which is widely known as TVA. The world-famous TVA project was established to develop the Tennessee River for flood control, navigation, and electric power production. It provides controlled irrigation and low-cost electric power to the people of a region covering 40,000 square miles, approximately the area of the Republic of Liberia. Prime Minister Balewa takes particular interest in the Tennessee Valley Project, since a similar plan is underway in his own country to make the fullest possible use of the great Niger River. A few miles from the dam, Sir Abubakar visits a farm. This farm was chosen a few years ago by the Tennessee Valley Authority as an experimental test farm. By means of modern fertilizers and agricultural methods, it has been changed in a short time from a barren and unproductive piece of land to what the Prime Minister now sees. Lessons derived from experimental farms benefit the entire valley. The Prime Minister finds interest in a farm machine which gathers hay and packs it into bales. A group of neighbors has come to the farm to give a small party in honor of Sir Abubakar. Taking leave of Knoxville, Prime Minister Balewa goes on to New York. Sir Abubakar is on his way to New York University, which is the largest private educational institution in the United States, with a student body of over 40,000. The Prime Minister receives the highest honor accorded by the university, the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa. The citation to Prime Minister Balewa extols his influence, which extends beyond the boundaries of his country as a constructive force in the continent of Africa and throughout the world. The Overseas Press Club in New York, an organization of American foreign correspondents, holds a luncheon in honor of Sir Abubakar. Addressing its members, Prime Minister Balewa says that the United States can help the African nations by giving them encouragement, by telling nations who still rule African countries to give them freedom, and by putting at the disposal of African countries the knowledge and experience America has accumulated. At New York's most famous hotel, the Waldorf Astoria, the African American Institute and the American Society of African Culture give a dinner in honor of Prime Minister Balewa. Among the many distinguished guests is Mr. James Farley, whose counsel is often sought by statesmen at home and abroad. Sir Abubakar is delighted to encounter the famous American singer, Marian Anderson. The United Nations is ready to receive Prime Minister Balewa. The Prime Minister, one of the most outspoken supporters of the United Nations, attends a meeting of the delegates of the African and Asian nations. He reminds the delegates of the importance of working together and presses upon them that it is desirable not to form blocs, but to pursue the truth and try to bring some sanity into the world. After addressing the African and Asian delegates, Prime Minister Balewa meets United Nations Secretary General Dag Hammarskjöld, who escorts Sir Abubakar into the auditorium of the General Assembly, which was not in session at the time of his visit. Prime Minister Balewa's last appearance in the United States takes place at Gracie Mansion, the residence of New York's Mayor, Robert F. Wagner. At a reception in honor of the distinguished visitor, Mayor Wagner accords Prime Minister Balewa honorary citizenship of New York, the nation's largest city. American Ambassador to the United Nations, Adlai Stevenson, greets Sir Abubakar. After receiving a symbol of his New York citizenship, the Prime Minister addresses a few words of farewell to the American people.
I find it difficult to express to you my thanks because since my arrival in the United States, I've been receiving a lot of kindness and hospitality from different people, from the President, from all the people, and now on the eve of my departure to my country, from you, Mr. Mayor. You in the United States have got a lot to teach the rest of the world in the art of living together in peace with one another. I go back to my country with a lot of encouragement, knowing fully well that the people of the United States think well of us, and we are very eager also to be the friends of your citizens. I hope that by our coming together, by our exchanging ideas, and by showing one another mutual respect and understanding, we shall be able to make this world a better place for mankind. Once again, thank you very much. We shall go back to Nigeria with happy memories of our stay in the United States of America.
Almost every Nigerian knows late General Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, the man who fought for the secession and freedom of the people of Biafra, a struggle which led to the Nigerian Civil War of 1967 to 1970. But little do they know who his father was. In this video, we bring to you the super interesting and inspirational story of Sir Louis Odumegwu Ojukwu, who was a notable businessman, transporter, real estate mogul, founding president of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and the very first Nigerian billionaire and richest to ever live on the face of the earth. He was so rich that the British colonial masters had to borrow his Rolls Royce to convey the Queen of England around Nigeria when she visited in 1956. Stay tuned as it brings you the interesting grass to grace story of Sir Louis Odumegwu Ojukwu, and also tell you the shocking reasons why he never wanted his son Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu to join the Nigerian army. But before we begin, if you're new to our channel, you're highly welcome to Laura MA TV, and please do well to hit on that subscribe button and do not forget to turn on the notification bell so you can always stay notified and updated whenever we post a new video. We post very interesting content every day. Without further ado, let's jump right into our story. Born Louis Philip Odumegu Ojukwu in the ancient city of Nnewi in 1909, he was the only boy and second of 4 children. Sir Ojukwu went to government primary school Asaba, and on completion of his primary education in 1922, he proceeded to the only secondary school in the eastern region at that time, which is Hope Wardell Training Institute, Calabar. After completing his secondary education at Hope Wardell Training Institute, Calabar in 1928, Sir Louis secured a job as a tire sales clerk with John Holt PLC in 1929 in Lagos. While working as a tire clerk with John Holt, Sir Louis Ojukwu noticed that many Igbo traders who came to Lagos to buy tires always bought textile as well. With his meager savings, Sir Louis traveled down to Onitsha, where he opened his first business venture called Ojukwu Stores and employed one of his relatives to oversee it. Then he returned to Lagos and started sending textiles on lorries to his shop while still working for John Holt PLC. His textile business boomed, and by 1930, Sir Louis bought a second-hand truck and employed a driver in order to move his goods himself, and Ojukwu Transport Company was born. Sir Ojukwu worked tirelessly, and by the end of 1930, he was the major transporter on the East-West Road in Nigeria. In 1939, on the outbreak of the World War II, the British government requested the use of Sir Ojukwu's fleet of trucks for the war, a deal he agreed to. When the war ended in 1945, the British government recognized the sacrifice he made, and he was awarded a KBE title, which means Knight of the British Empire. The end of the war also created a high demand for raw materials from West Africa, and Sir Ojukwu transport business exploded sky high, and he diversified into other businesses. Some of Sir Ojukwu early drivers, such as Chief Ilodibi, aka Ekenedeli Chukwu, and Chief Izuchukwu, the owner and founder of Izuchukwu Transport Company, would later become transport moguls themselves. Sir Ojukwu was so rich that in 1956, when the Queen visited Nigeria, the British authorities had to borrow his Rolls Royce and personal driver to chauffeur the Queen around the country. Sir Louis was also a financial pillar of Nnamdi Azikiwe NCNC party, and when the party came to power in 1960, Sir Louis was offered the position of finance minister, which he turned down. The position ultimately went to Okoti Ebo. Sir Louis died in Nkalagu, present-day Ebonyi State, in 1966. Sir Louis' CV is the most intimidating you would ever see, and his portfolios include the first president of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, President, African Continental Bank, Chairman, Nigerian Cement Company, CEO, Ojukwu Transport Company with over 5,000 fleet of trucks, Chairman, Nigerian National Shipping Line with over 100 ships and vessels, Chairman, Lion of African Insurance Company, Chairman, Bisco Nigeria Limited, Chairman, Nigerian Industrial Development Bank, founded to specifically give loans to industries, Vice President, Lagos Chamber of Commerce, Chairman, Palmline Shipping Company, Chairman, Nigerian Produce Marketing Board, Chairman, Eastern Nigerian Development Corporation, Chairman, Coastal West Africa, Director, Shell Diaki Petroleum, Director, Thomas Watt and Son, Director, Nigerian Coal Corporation, Director, Guinness Nigerian Limited, Director, Nigerian Tobacco Company, Director, Daily Times of Nigeria. The man was simply larger than life. Sir Louis also owned numerous buildings, landed properties, and stocks. It is estimated that as at the time he died in 1966, he was worth about $40 billion in today's money. Sir Louis never wanted his son, Chukwuemeka Odumegu Ojukwu, to join the Nigerian army. He wanted him to assist in running the family's successful businesses, but Chukwuemeka Odumegu Ojukwu blatantly refused and secretly got himself enrolled into the Nigerian army, to the disappointment and dismay of his father. In an interview, Ojukwu said, and I quote, "My enlistment into the Nigerian army, to say the least, startled everybody in Nigeria who had of it. I went to Zaria and enlisted. I did that mainly because I didn't want any interference from the well-meaning influence of my father. I joined the army, signed up, but I wasn't to be spared the embarrassment because it did not take long before my father was aware of it, and he did everything possible to stop the enlistment. This is why, despite my educational background, I was not enlisted as an officer cadre. The general idea was that it was agreed between the Governor General and my father that the best way actually was to let me go into the Nigerian army, and I would see for myself what the army truly was. I don't think they took into full consideration the level of stubbornness I must have acquired from my father as well, because I remember the question always came to Zaria from Lagos: how is he getting on? So guys, this is the story of Sir Louis Odumegu Ojukwu, the richest Nigerian man to ever grace the face of the earth and the father of Biafran war leader.
Olayinka Herbert Samuel Badmus Macaulay was born on Monday, November 14, 1864, in Lagos, to Thomas Babington Macaulay and Abigail Crowther, the second daughter of Bishop Samuel Ajayi Crowther, as the fifth of 7 children. Macaulay was born 6 days after Republican President Abraham Lincoln defeated Democrat General George B. McClellan in the United States presidential election to serve a second term in the White House. It was also the same year his maternal grandfather, Samuel Ajayi Crowther, became the first African bishop of the Church of England, popularly known as the Anglican Church. Macaulay's paternal grandfather, Ojo Oriari, a native doctor, was from Oyo and a descendant of Alafin Abiodun. He and his wife, Kilangbe, were enslaved but freed by a British anti-slavery squadron and taken to Freetown, Sierra Leone, where they settled for a while before returning to Abeokuta, where they gave birth to Herbert Macaulay's father, Thomas Babington Macaulay. Herbert Macaulay's father, Reverend Thomas Babington Macaulay, founded and became the first principal of the Church Missionary Society CMS Grammar School in Lagos, Nigeria's first and oldest secondary school, on June 6, 1859. Until he was 5, Macaulay was taught at home by his mother, Abigail. In 1869, he enrolled at St. Paul's School, Breadfruit and Christ Church School, Itafaji, for his primary education. In 1877, at the age of 13, he gained admission into the CMS Grammar School, which was then at the end of Broad Street in Lagos, where his father was the principal. 2 months later, on January 17, 1878, his father died of smallpox. Herbert Macaulay left the school in 1880, and according to his school record, he was astounding in English, logic, mathematics, and Latin. In September 1881, at only 16, he was appointed a clerical assistant and indexer of Crown land grants in the Colonial Public Works Department in Lagos. Within 3 years of his appointment, he was promoted as a draughtsman and clerk of Crown land grants. Macaulay was then awarded a colonial government scholarship in 1890 for further studies in England in civil engineering and surveying, a first of its kind in those days, which exposed him to the genteel British way of life and liberal democracy. From 1890 to 1893, Herbert Macaulay was in Plymouth, England, studying not only civil engineering but architecture and surveying, including railway surveying. On December 5, 1893, Macaulay became the first Nigerian to qualify as a civil engineer and was admitted as a member of the British Institute of Civil Engineers, member of the Royal Institute of British Architects, as well as a fellow of the Royal Geographical Society. However, when his lecturer at Plymouth, Mr. G.D. Bellamy, recommended Macaulay for further training in civil engineering, the colonial government in Lagos denied him that opportunity. On his return to Lagos, the government made him a surveyor of Crown lands in Lagos. However, he soon became dissatisfied with the conditions of his employment, as he was put on a salary scale of £90 to £150 per annum, while a British civil servant junior to him in the same department earned £250 per annum. Thus, in 1898, after only 5 years in government service, Macaulay decided to go into private practice as a licensed surveyor, architect, and civil engineer. He never worked for the government again. He was only 34 years old. On his own, Macaulay struggled in the early days to find success, as the colonial authority made sure he did not get any government jobs, and only a handful of Africans were rich enough to engage and pay him for his professional services. Although he designed very few important buildings in Lagos, like Alex Taylor's house on Victoria Street, Henry Carr's house on Tinubu Street, Akinola Maja's house, and the Doherty Villa in Campo Square, Macaulay was constantly in financial distress. He was also an executor of the estate of a family dependent, from which he was accused by the colonial government of misappropriated funds when he was found guilty of improperly taking a sum of £350 from the estate of one Mary Franklin, a freed slave who had named him as an executor of her will in 1912. Macaulay argued that he used the money to put off debts owed by Mary's estate, but his claims were dismissed and he was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment in July 1913. While many sympathized with him because of the extenuating circumstances of his large extended family, these events meant that he could never become a candidate for public office for life. Barred from elective public office, Macaulay made his mark in politics through journalism, political organizations, and various advisory capacities. Between 1910 and 1927, he was a frequent contributor to the Nigerian Chronicle. In 1927, Macaulay joined forces with his friend Dr. John Akinlode Colcrick, a physician and politician, to buy the Lagos Daily News, the first daily newspaper in British West Africa, founded in 1925. Macaulay decided on the political tone of the paper. This provided him a platform for his battles against the government and his African political opponents. Herbert Macaulay would also go to prison again in 1928, at a time when he had become a serious opponent of the colonial government. Macaulay was responsible for the reports and editorial views of the Lagos Daily News, a medium which he used to fight his political battles. He soon got into trouble with the British when the paper reported a story that the car which was to bring the king of Lagos back from exile in Oyo would be blown up by his opponents. It was a rumor, and the colonial government felt that the publication was an incitement to fuel existing tension within the colony. Macaulay served 6 months in prison without any option of fine. After his release from prison, Macaulay took a somewhat more cautious line, but his writing remained highly critical. He continued to publish his newspaper until 1938. Herbert Macaulay's popularity as a political leader led to the forming of the Nigerian National Democratic Party, NNDP, in 1923, the first well-organized political party in Nigeria and British West Africa. Its motto was, "The safety of the people is the greatest law." Its candidates won all the elective seats in the Nigerian legislature between 1923 and 1938. For fear that the government might take action against him, Macaulay refused to hold any party office until the 1930s. But in Lagos, there was no doubt he was the driving force and real power behind the scenes. He maintained close ties with the first executive councils and was almost always present at NNDP public meetings. Furthermore, he had extensive links with the masses of Lagos through their traditional popular associations, particularly the Market Women's Union and many vocational unions. He encouraged market women and elite women to take part in party activities, including speaking at its meetings. With his control of the party, Macaulay was able to some extent exert some influence on some issues that came before the Legislative Council, such as the poll tax, the building of a new cemetery for Africans at Aton Ota, present-day Ogun State, and the Lagos Railway construction. When the colonial government decided to control market prices during World War II, Macaulay supported the opposition of the market women to the idea, arguing that government could not seek to control what it did not supply. Ironically, Macaulay encouraged Lagosians to contribute and support the British colonial government immensely during the war. When the National Council of Nigeria and Cameroon (NCNC) was formed in 1944, Macaulay, now 80 years of age but physically strong and mentally alert, was elected the party's president, and Benjamin Nnamdi Azikiwe, who would go on to become the first president of independent Nigeria, became its first Secretary General. In 1946, the colonial government proposed a new constitution for Nigeria, but led by Macaulay, the NCNC and other nationalists rejected the proposition. They argued that it did not go far enough in granting responsible government to Nigeria and that the locals had not been fully consulted on its provisions. At the meeting in Global Hall in Lagos on April 11, 1945, it was decided that an NCNC delegation which included Azikiwe, the head of the delegation, Mrs. Fumilayo Ransom Kuti, Prince Adeleke Adedoyin, Dr. A.B. Olorunimbe, Alhaji Inu Awada, amongst others, be sent to London to convey the party's reservations to the proposed constitution.
We have come to the United Kingdom as delegates of the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons, chosen by our people, in order to demand for a more democratic constitution, to modify 4 laws affecting our lands, minerals, and chiefs, and to request the British government to grant us more political responsibility to enable us to take an active part in the management of our affairs within the framework of the British Empire.
A tour of the provinces was planned from April 8 to June 5, 1945, to raise funds, a total of £13,500 for the proposed trip to London. But it was while Macaulay was on tour in the northern provinces in Kano, leading the NCNC delegation, that he suffered an acute attack of rheumatism and had to return to Lagos, where he was treated by Dr. Olorunimbe, his personal physician and political associate in the NCNC. He died on May 7, 1946. He was 81 years. The Lord Bishop of Lagos, the Archbishop Leslie Gordon Vining, officiated at Macaulay's funeral service held for him on May 11, 1946, at the Cathedral Church of Christ, Marina, after which he was buried at the Ikoyi Cemetery. Huge crowds estimated between 100,000 and 200,000 turned up in the streets to mourn him, and all markets were shut for 2 days. As is customary among the Yoruba, when a distinguished leader dies at an advanced age, his funeral became the occasion for a prolonged celebration of life well lived and public service well acclaimed. In December 1898, the year he left the civil service, Macaulay got married to Caroline Pratt, the daughter of an African superintendent of police. Unfortunately, the marriage came to an end with Caroline's sudden death in August 1899. Macaulay vowed never to remarry, but he had mistresses with whom he fathered 16 children, one of whom was Oged Ogedengbe Macaulay, a member of the Zikist movement, who also took after him with his own militant brand of politics. Likewise, Professor Babatunde Kweku Adadevo, a former vice-chancellor of the University of Lagos, was a grandson, while his daughter, Dr. Stella Ameyo Adadevo, the woman who stopped the Ebola epidemic in Nigeria in 2014, was a great-granddaughter to Macaulay. Some of Macaulay's friends and political contemporaries were Dr. Henry Carr, the first African Inspector of Education and later the first African resident of the Lagos colony, John Otumba Payne, the first African Registrar of the High Court, Arthur Caiston, German consul and an accomplished pianist, Dr. J.K. Randall, Dr. C.C. Adeniyi Jones, Dr. J.A. Colcrick, Dr. Moses Darocha, Candido Darocha, Dr. Akinwade Savage, Barrister Eric O. Moore, Egerton Shingle, Adeyemo Alakija, Bright Wilson, Kitoye Ajasa, and Alimotu Belewura. Herbert Macaulay was a great socialite and found solace from his political travels in music. He had learned the violin in the UK, even obtaining a certificate in it from the Trinity College of Music in London, and was quite good at it. Although a Christian, the son of an Anglican priest, Reverend Father T.V. Macaulay, and grandson of an Anglican bishop, S.A. Crowther, he practiced various forms of black magic and divination. He embraced the Adamu Orisha in Lagos and showed a keen interest in African traditional medicine to protect himself and his large family. Many streets and monuments have been named after Macaulay in both Abuja and Lagos. In 1972, a ship Herbert Macaulay of the Nigerian Shipping Line was named after him. The Herbert Macaulay Library in Yaba, Lagos is also named after him. In addition, his portrait featured on the defunct Nigeria 1 Naira notes and coin.
Good morning. The news updates. I am Taufikat Abdulhakim. Governor Ahmadu Fintiri of Adamawa State has revealed that Boko Haram members are planning to reestablish their cells for operations in the state. Governor Fintiri made the revelation when he received the new brigade commander, 23rd Armored Brigade, Brigadier General Mohammed Gambo, in his office in Yola. He noted that security agencies are monitoring the development to ensure that the group never succeed in their scheme. The governor charged Brigadier General Gambo to help the state address internal security challenges, as the new brigade commander is coming at a critical time with the Boko Haram group trying to establish 2 cells within the state in the local government of Mahia and Ong. Meanwhile, the Minister of Power, Engineer Abubakar Aliyu, has disclosed the federal government plan to build a 2.5 megawatt hybrid solar power plant in the Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna. The minister noted that it would enhance security at the academy as a result of the heightened security challenges in the country. Aliyu stated this at the 40th National Solar Energy Forum, organized by the Solar Energy Society of Nigeria in collaboration with the Rural Electrification Agency and the National Agency Commission. The minister, who was represented by the Minister of State, Power, Mr. Godi Jediagba, said reliable and sustainable energy was key in the fight against insecurity in the country. He stressed that extensive and robust discussions will bring out desirable outcomes that can move solar energy penetration in Nigeria forward, as Nigeria is not left out of countries all over the world that are exploring avenues of fulfilling their specific commitments and nationally determined contribution in line with the Paris Agreement on Climate Change and COP26 agreement in Glasgow, Scotland. The National Human Rights Commission said it has received 4,701,519 complaints about rights violation in 2021 through avenues including the Protection Department of its headquarters and state offices. The figure, the Commission said, was higher than the 1,287,280 complaints received in 2020 and the highest so far since its establishment in 1995. The information was made available to journalists by the Executive Secretary of the National Human Rights Commission, Anthony Ojukwu, in its statutory report presented at the Annual General Conference of the Nigeria Bar Association in Lagos. The NHRC fingered the reduction in the new infection rate of the coronavirus pandemic, which led to the relaxation of the lockdown and movement restrictions, is the reason for the spike in complaints, enabling more people to reach the Commission with their complaints. The NHRC also said the increased use of social media, the insecurity in the country, and increasing awareness of human rights and knowledge of the avenues to claim those rights contributed to the spike. It was gathered that child rights issues topped the list with 3,67,440 complaints, while women and gender issues followed with 287,240 complaints. And that ends the news update on OSBC TV. Please join us at 12 for the media news. Good morning.
Welcome to ICT on TV. ICT on TV is an educative program on information and communication technology, the ICT. We have 3 segments on this program. We have the informative segment, we have the practical segment, and we also have the feedback segment. But before I go into the segment for today, I would like to quickly tell us my own name is Akin Oladele. Now, before I go into the segment for today, that is the first segment, which is the informative segment. I would like to quickly go for a short musical break. After that short break, I'll be right back with the next segment, which is the informative segment. Stay glued to that TV set. I will be right back.
Hello guys, in this lesson, we're going to talk about why do you need WhatsApp marketing? WhatsApp is a useful and powerful messaging app that anyone can use, be it for personal use and also for business purposes. If you want to use a free messaging app for connecting with your friends and family, you can download the WhatsApp messaging personal app, like what you see here. For business purposes, you can download the WhatsApp business app to showcase your business profile and connect directly with your customers or potential customers that you're winning over to convert them as your regular customers. When you use the WhatsApp personal app, sending too many messages might put your account at risk. This is where WhatsApp Business is better to use. Showcasing your business is possible on the WhatsApp Business app. You can use features, such as the status, to show a demo on your product, and remember to build a trusting relationship with your regular and potential customers. Give value, and don't make every message you send them about making a sale, or you might risk losing your potential customers. You can even use the WhatsApp web by going to web.whatsapp.com if you want to sync your WhatsApp mobile app on your computer. Doing this will allow you to compose your messages using your computer's keyboard rather than typing on your mobile phone. You can quickly compose messages, send photos, and any media from your computer. WhatsApp Web mirrors your WhatsApp personal app on your mobile phone. It saves you time when you are busy working on your computer. There are more than 1 billion active users on WhatsApp. It's also the most widely used messaging app today. It's a free platform that anyone can use to send messages to anyone on their WhatsApp contact lists. WhatsApp is the most popular messenger application that is widely used globally. We can take a look at the number of people who use WhatsApp. Let's check the chart for the number of people of reach per country. As you can see here, it reaches the number of people in Saudi Arabia, about 73%. In Malaysia, it reaches 68% of the people. In Germany, it reaches 65% of the people. And in Brazil and Mexico, it reaches about 56% of the people who use WhatsApp. In the United States, only about 30 million are using WhatsApp, which is a smaller percentage, but in countries like India, over 400 million people are using WhatsApp. WhatsApp has a very wide global reach, and if you use the app, you can impact people and you can talk to people in your country. With that, you have a great number of chances to reach your target market. In UK, 84% of 25 to 34-year-old people use WhatsApp, and in this country, more women use WhatsApp than men. In the US, there are also more users in the age group of 25 to 34, but with 42% users, and there are more men who use WhatsApp than women in the United States. WhatsApp is used by billions of people to send billion messages and millions of voice calls every day. It shows us that people rely on WhatsApp for calling, sending SMS, or any media for their communication needs. There are even countries like Malaysia that use WhatsApp as their source to get daily news and updates. While WhatsApp is the most widely used communication tool for most countries, there are also countries where WhatsApp is blocked by governments as it became the tool for communication in dangerous situations. People communicate fast with the help of messaging services, and tons of active users are making use of the features of WhatsApp, and smart businesses are using it to the benefit of their business. There are lots of ways you can use WhatsApp as one of your marketing strategies. You can provide fast and real-time customer service to your customers. You can get in touch with your customers and respond to their inquiries and solve their issues right away. Doing this will help your customers experience great support from your business. After-purchase support is important for customers. If your product is great, but then your customer support is bad, especially when complaints arise, it will make your business be rated low by your customers. It will ruin your business's good reputation by word of mouth and bad reviews, turning off your potential customers. Send exclusive discounts on WhatsApp. If you have a list of customers and they are aware that your business does have a WhatsApp account, you can use it to send exclusive offers and promotions to your customers. In addition, you can send vouchers or coupons as discount privileges to encourage your customers to purchase the products or services that you offer, as they will get a huge discount. People love getting discounts, so even if they don't need your products or services yet, offering coupons where they can get huge discounts will urge them to buy from you. Send creative promotions to your contact lists. WhatsApp is not limited to sending plain text messages to people on your list. You can send messages as videos, which you can use to promote new products or services, as people love watching videos than reading text-based products or still photo promotions. You can also share pictures that you have created for a particular campaign for an upcoming product that your customers can look forward to. You can also share voice messages if you prefer sending recorded voice messages, especially if you're in a hurry. Ask for reviews and ratings. You can use WhatsApp to ask your customers to give a review of a product or service that they have experienced or used from your business. Just give them the link where they can fill out the survey, and they'll be glad to fill it out for you, especially if they have a good experience with their business. Now that you have learned about why do you need WhatsApp marketing, we can now proceed to the next topic, which is WhatsApp Personal App. Hello guys! In this lesson, we're going to talk about WhatsApp Personal App. There are two kinds of WhatsApp apps. First is the WhatsApp Personal App, which is dedicated for personal use, and you must avoid using it for business purposes. The second one is the WhatsApp Business App, which is meant exclusively for businesses to send SMS messages to your customers, send promotions, and marketing updates. This app should not be used for sending personal messages to your friends. Each app has its own purpose and should not be used interchangeably. WhatsApp is a social media service that is intended for sending mobile messages to your contacts as text or calling them via voice or via video chat for free. People rely on the free messaging app since they won't be paying their mobile courier just to send a simple SMS message to anyone on their contacts list. Messages can include text, videos, audios, or any files to send them to your friends, family, or your colleagues. It's an easy way to connect with people. You just need to download the mobile app from your Play Store if you're using an Android phone, and the Apple Store if you're using an Apple mobile device. You also need an internet connection to be able to send messages to any of your WhatsApp contacts. WhatsApp Personal App is a simple and secure messaging app that you can use to connect with your loved ones. You can send simple text messages with emojis, send a video, a voice message, or even share your location. You can create groups to organize your contacts. Groups can be dedicated for your family, friends, co-workers, or team that you're building for a particular event. Creating groups can help you share messages, photos, and videos with up to 256 people at once. It will save you time in sending the same messages to different people in your WhatsApp contacts list. In addition, you can use the personal app to have voice calls to talk to your family wherever they are all over the world. You can enjoy a face-to-face conversation with your loved ones without worrying about the cost of data charges. With their end-to-end encryption, you can count on WhatsApp to protect your messages and calls so that you and your loved ones can have a secure way of communication. You can also send documents on WhatsApp, like PDF documents, spreadsheets, without using your email to send such documents and share your files to your contacts. You have to know that there's a limit of 100 MB file size that you can share. Now that you know what WhatsApp Personal App is, we can now proceed to the next topic, which is WhatsApp Business. Hello guys, in this lesson, we're going to talk about WhatsApp Business App. WhatsApp Business is a different mobile application from WhatsApp that is intended for small businesses. It's also free to download. Take note that when you have a WhatsApp Personal App and you've decided on using the WhatsApp Business App, you need to have different mobile numbers to register your personal and business accounts with. If you only have one mobile number and there's a need to use the WhatsApp Business App, then you have to say goodbye to your personal app and use the same mobile number for your business app. It will be easier to respond to your customers using the WhatsApp Business App. You can even set auto replies if customers send you the same message, and instead of answering the same questions every day, you can set a default answer to such question. This is very helpful if you're a very busy business owner who needs less time in handling thousands of messages every day. Let's face it, if you reply to each message and compose a message that is different from every individual, it will take your whole day just responding to those messages. This business app will help you save time in using the app so you can spend more time in more important business activities. You can also showcase your business by creating a business profile with the information that your customers will need if they want to go to your local business address, know more about your business through your website, or contact you. Facebook owns WhatsApp, so a feature of WhatsApp Business that is driving increase from your Facebook page's advertisements to your WhatsApp business account is available. So if your potential customers click the message button in your Facebook ads, they will be directed to your WhatsApp business account. Remember that you need to set it in your Facebook Ads Manager before you start running your ads. WhatsApp Business for Android was launched in January 2018, while the beta version of WhatsApp Business for iOS mobile phones was introduced a month after WhatsApp Business for Android was launched. Businesses can now enjoy the benefits of the features of WhatsApp Business regardless if you're using an Android or an iOS mobile phone. They're both usable in both platforms. WhatsApp Business app charges businesses on messages that are not attended to for more than 24 hours. This feature of the app encourages business owners to provide good customer service and build a good trusting relationship with their customers. We all hate it if our inquiries or complaints are not attended to right away. This benefits the customers in a way that their concerns are addressed by these business owners using WhatsApp Business in less than 24 hours. There are features on the Business app which is not available to the Personal app. We will go through each feature as we go on to the next chapters.
I'm sure you've enjoyed that segment, which is the informative segment. I'm sure you have learned one or two things from that segment. And now I would like to go to this next segment, which is the practical segment. On the practical segment this week, you will surely enjoy something very, very important today. I will teach you something practically using that ICT gadget you are using, that is you are having with you. Be it your iPad, your iPhones, your tablet, your computer. I will teach you something in our ICT lab. Are you going to will you go with me to the ICT lab now as I teach you something on ICT? Let's go. I'm sure you are ready. Let's go together. Let's go to the ICT lab as I teach you one or two things on ICT. Let's go. I'll be right there.
By walking you through the WhatsApp Business app for small businesses. Okay, so first things first, you just need to download the WhatsApp Business app from your app store. Then all you need to do is open this new app. Then once you're here, all we need to do is agree and continue. And then once you've done that, you'll see the option to use your current phone number or use a different number. Now this is up to you. If you have a personal number and a personal WhatsApp account, then you want to use your business number. Then all you need to do is continue and allow access so that WhatsApp Business can access your contacts. Then once you've done that, just give the WhatsApp Business app time to update your contacts, transfer your information over to your WhatsApp Business app. Then once that's complete, you'll head over to your business profile. Here you want to add your business name or your name if it represents your business, and then change your profile picture. All you need to do is click the profile picture and change your image. Then click on category. Then here you want to select the category that best represents your business. So here we've got restaurant, hotel, finance, event planner. Now for us, we're a marketing agency, so I can't see it here. So if I type in MA, As you can see, there's marketing agency. Now remember, this is ideal for local and small businesses wanting to streamline their communication and sales process. Then just add your business description and click next. Now that is the initial setup of your WhatsApp business profile, and that's going to take you here where you can explore your business tools. But we're going to click not now and show you how similar the WhatsApp business app is with the normal WhatsApp app. As you can see, we've got chat just like the normal WhatsApp. You've got status where you can update your business status, what's going on in your business, update your customers, your potential customers, your prospects with what's happening with your products, your services. You can add images, you can add text. Just click to simply update your status and communicate what's going on with your business with your contacts. And you can also call, very similar to the normal WhatsApp app. So now with the WhatsApp business app, the only difference you'll be able to see is the business tools up the top here. And if you click on the business tools, this is going to take you to the settings of the WhatsApp business app. And this is where you can streamline sales, communication, and automation. So the first is your business account. Basically what we talked about earlier, you can modify your business account here on business profile. Then we have catalog. Now catalog is where the magic happens. This is where you add your services, your products that you provide, and you can simply add items here, services or products, and simply send those to your prospects, customers, your contacts on WhatsApp. So to add a product, all you need to do is, like I just showed you, click that, and then add the name of the item. It could be a product or a service you provide. Then simply add the price for your product or service. Then pop down here and add a brief description about the product or service that you're providing. Then here you want to add the link to your website if you have more information on your website. Find that page. As you can see here, this is the page that takes them to our service. We're going to copy that link and paste that in here. So when I send this item to a potential customer, to my contacts, they can see more information. Then down here, just add a code for reference later on. Now back up the top, you can add an image of your products and services. And once you've completed all this information, just click save. And that's going to take you back to your catalog manager where you can add more products and services. Then if you click the link up on the top right, here you can actually copy this link and send it to your contacts, your prospects, your potential customers, and they can see this information. Click on the link. Just like here, as you can see, I copied the link and then I sent it to this contact, to this potential customer, and they can click the link and that will take them to this catalog. And that's the catalog we just created. And again, like I said, you can add additional products and services within your catalog. It's very straightforward and simple. So that is the catalog manager, very powerful tool. Now if we head back to business tools and navigate down to messaging tools, this is where we can focus on semi-automation. Now with away message, think about the message that you want to send to individuals when you're away. This is an automatic reply that you can customize here when you're away. Then we have a greeting message, which is an automated greeting message that you can customize here when a new contact reaches out to you and sends you a message. Then if we navigate down to quick replies, this is really powerful. This is a really powerful feature. Essentially, quick replies saves you time by creating custom quick replies rather than sending the same message multiple times. Basically, you can create multiple answers to common questions you get asked rather than typing out all these answers every single time. So customize here, and then you can come down here and create a new message. So just add your message up here. I've quickly added a common answer based on the questions we always get about our marketing packages, our website packages. Then just create that shortcut. So if I type in /website design, then this whole answer is going to pop up when I message someone. Then down here, you also have the option to add keywords based on your answer to help you generate this answer when you're communicating with your contacts. Now I'll show you how this quick reply feature works later on when we're dealing with a contact in a chat. Now you can also add more here, but what we'll do is we'll head back and cover the rest. So we also have labels, and this is where you can identify and label the stage of your customer journey. For example, you've got new customer, new order, pending payment, paid, and order complete, and you can add more down here. Then we also have short link, and this is essentially the link that you can send to individuals, to contacts, potential customers about your profile, so people can connect with your business profile. profile. And you can also turn on this automated message for customers when they arrive to your short link. They can send a message and they can customize it to the message they want to send to you. So once you've done that, you've created your profile, you've edited all your messaging tools, you've added your catalog, you've created your business profile, everything is finished. Then if we head to chat, we're going to show you how these automated messages work. So if we head to one of our chats, one of our contacts, this is, for example, a customer. Now, if I go /, you can see these automatic replies, these quick replies we created earlier. And as you can see with the /W, that brings up our web design answer that we created under quick replies. And you can see how easy that is to respond to questions, common questions that your contacts, your customers ask. Then if we click label chat, we can label this customer as a new customer or any other label or a new label that we created. So it's as simple as that to get started with the WhatsApp business app for small businesses. Remember, this is to streamline communication, sales, and ultimately automation in your business.
Now to the feedback segment. Before I go into the feedback segment, I'm very sure you have enjoyed one or two things from that segment, which is the practical segment. And I'm very sure, I have the 100% assurance that you have learned one or two things from that segment. Now to the feedback segment. On the feedback segment, we have to share with you what we have discussed last week, most especially the question given to you last week. Now to the answer to the last week's question, and after that, I'll quickly just give you one or two things that you need to know on our feedback segment. Let's go to the feedback segment. I'll be right back. Before I go, I would like to tell us that being a computer literate is certainly no longer an option. It is a necessity. I'm talking to you, that particular person looking at me right there. I'm talking to you right now that you have to be ICT compliant. You have to be computer literate. It is very, very important. Nowadays, we don't do things the way we have been doing it before. Everything has been digitalized. Everything you do today, you have to move with the current trend in technology. Before I go, I'm advising you, don't take it for granted. You have to be ICT literate. And before I go, my name, before I go again, is Akin Oladele. And before I go, I would like to give you my general quote, which is, being a computer literate is certainly no longer an option. It is a necessity. So, be a computer literate. Join me next week as I give you another episode of ICT on TV. With me and from me, I say bye for now.
Fara kátìdìbò gbó nítorí ìgbọ̀nsẹ̀ èéṣe ìwà tí ò bójúmu ni iléeṣẹ́ OSBC pẹ̀lú àjọṣepọ̀ ọ́fíìsì aya gómìnà Alhaja Kafayat Oyètọ́lá ló ń ké tantan pé ẹ ṣíwọ́ ìgbọ̀nsẹ̀ ṣíṣe sójú táyé.
they say, is the root of transformation. That's why we bring you Breaches. Breaches looks into the activities of paramilitary agencies around us. We also check related issues ranging from vulnerable children, destitutes, and children on the streets. What are the roles of these agencies? The responsibility of the government, parents, and the society in order to integrate them into our midst. All these coming to you from OSBC TV, channel 32 UHF. Breaches, let's bridge the gap. Wonders, they say, shall never end. I have seen something, I've seen a video again to bring to you on this show. This is Breaches on OSBC TV, channel 32 UHF, and my name is DG Adefila. Something is happening in Africa. I'm going to Ghana today. I have really heard about this state, but I've never seen it until I came across this video. And this is all about witches in Africa. Something about witches. A colleague in Ghana decided to go all out to find out about what is happening to the witches of Gambaga. It is there in Ghana. Sit back, relax, because for the next 2 weeks on this show, I'm going to be bringing you something on this particular episode to get to know what is happening in Ghana, the next door neighbor. This is Breaches once again, and you're welcome to the show.
When I heard Amina Wumbala's account of how she was expelled from her village and forced to take refuge at the witches' camp in Gambaga in northern Ghana, I was horrified. I'm Yaba Baidu, a writer and filmmaker. I couldn't understand how traditional beliefs that, in my opinion, demonize women are still so strongly held that they can unleash violence that destroys a woman's life. And this in a country proud of its human rights record. I was born in Tamale, not far from Gambaga, and educated in Britain. For years, I've been fascinated by stories that link ordinary, middle-aged women like myself to witchcraft. And for the past 14 years, I've been writing about the lives of the witches of Gambaga. Gambaga was once the capital of the northern region, a part of Ghana ravaged by poverty. It's now a run-down provincial town, famous for housing the oldest sanctuary for witches in the north. It's claimed that the town's gods protect its citizens from witchcraft by destroying the potency of witches. It was an utter revelation when I found out that Gambaga was one of several refuges for witches in the north. And how many people attacked you?
6 men.
But what was even more shocking was the scale of the problem. I discovered that there were over 1,000 women condemned for witchcraft living in camps. In 2005, when I was last here, Mahawa, the most senior resident at the camp, was about to be installed as the witch's spokeswoman by the chief. The celebration took place at the chief's palace. The chief's power is absolute. He gives the women sanctuary, but they can't leave his custody without his consent. He protects the women, every one of whom is scarred by events that brought her to Gambaga. Asana was tortured by her brother, who threatened to pluck out her eyes if she didn't confess to witchcraft. Awabu was beaten and then tortured for days. When she found her way to the chief, she was at the point of death. Bintuk was on the run for her life for 3 months before she found refuge here.
Mangaja talima tanya awa kayali ni nantiani ni yamana mayeni ininya mampersi kwa kula mangaja maga ja mali gemuni umpamu yari mangaja munzanga ntiani mbwiti yangu wala ya ntiani ni yani nuri ya to ashai to je ya sana bene in ya kan ya mutu ya yanke nan yalma bai ya yalma bai ya talayyar ma ya ta ma za bai ya talayyar ya ni bai wa kai kenan yalma barala ye ke wumla la biya ko
Even though the women are rejected by their communities and are beholden to the chief, they're supported by men and women such as Gladys Laraba, who's worked at the witches' camp at Gambaga for years. She started off as a volunteer, but is now a member of a team initiated by the Presbyterian Church to help witches return home to their villages. She finds out what's going on at the camp through daily visits to Mahawa's compound. In her former life, Mahawa was a famous praise singer at local weddings and funerals. But just like most women here, she shared her husband with another wife, described as a rival.
Do kaya sitama tepama nembima koyane yong lo sabai bisi o mazala o mawan sambawo to dinyam bi mawa yina yamangne tutun japenya zuna tanza zuna wa to ko to yane awon wa be me kakiama to jogo tamaron ta tagambarana kabamartawa.
You said that you had caused the boy's sickness. How is that possible?
Yamangwana. Na umwa yetu anyala yetu ayeni. Etu ayatoka ibrikin setaraga etaraganla. Milan do azingwan volunteer lo. Manke tumona nentoya na pasanya. Hal sai mira anyala sanya. Bungi dira anyala sanya. Sanya zo kankena jene tengama. Ayato asia. Den data man la dama wando ni yalma ne to kiso kama ba kiso a kapa kona ya kisin ya kin tilangoni opa mo bawo hige opa mo bawo hige.
I didn't know what to make of Mahawa's confession. She later told me that if she hadn't confessed to witchcraft, she'd have been killed. Yet her conviction that she was a witch made me wonder if witchcraft beliefs are so deeply entrenched that to be born a woman is to be born under a shadow of suspicion. The Presbyterian Church's team to help women return to their communities is led by Simon Ngota.
A common belief, especially this part of the country, northern Ghana, people have a very strong belief in witchcraft. And they have a belief that the witches, they have the power to cause the illness of somebody, even to the extent of the person dying. So they have the belief that it is actually something that is very bad.
Men are believed to use witchcraft as well. However, they're expected to exercise their spiritual power responsibly.
With the men, they use it in a positive way. Like a man might use it to protect his house. A man might use it to treat people as a herbalist. But they have a general belief that women actually use it to destroy life.
The witches' camp at Gambaga was established thanks to the intervention of the first Imam of Gambaga, sometime towards the end of the 19th century, before the British colonized what was then referred to as the Gold Coast. As the story goes, Imam Baba was on his way to Nelegu walking along this road when he came across a woman, Adisa of Simba, from a village in the Upper East, who was being led to her execution because of witchcraft on this hill behind me. Adisa ran to the Imam and begged for her life. The Imam managed to take her to see the chief of Nelegu, who just authorized her execution. He quoted verses of the Quran to him. He asked for clemency, and the chief agreed that Imam Baba could take Adisa back to the mosque at Gambaga for her protection. Before long, whenever a woman was about to be executed for witchcraft, she would run to Gambaga for protection at the mosque. The Imam apparently made the woman swear on the Quran that she would behave herself, and if she didn't, it said that the Quran made sure that she got her comeuppance. Eventually, so many women were living in the mosque that the people and the chief of Gambaga built a camp for witches on the outskirts of the town. But when the next Imam quarreled with the chief of Nelegu, the chief placed the witches under the authority of the chief of Gambaga, the Gambarana. They remain in the custody of his descendants to this day.
Can you tell? I can't tell what's in people's hearts.
So witchcraft is everywhere. What the chief doesn't mention is that he has a stake in keeping it that way. Because every woman at the camp pays for his protection. And if a woman arrives with nothing, she repays her debt with labor. Today, yet another woman condemned for witchcraft arrives at the camp and begins what could be years of exile from her family. She's escorted from the chief's palace to Mahawa's hut.
Amen.
I just come out to register her. Samata.
Salmata's daughter is the only member of her family to come to Gambaga to support her.
Could you ask her what happened, Laraba?
It transpires that both mother and daughter have been accused of witchcraft, and both have have undergone a trial by ordeal. According to local belief, the daughter is innocent. Salmata, however, is now a confirmed witch because the ritual has gone against her. Her guilt was determined by how a chicken died when it was slaughtered, whether it died with its wings facing the sky or the ground.
That's correct.
While Salmata begins her new life as a witch, Alima is getting ready to return home with her son. She'll be going with another woman from the same village, Agruba. Working closely with the chief, Simon Ngota and Gladys Laraba do one of the toughest jobs in the world. They help women believed to be witches return home. But before she can leave the chief's custody, Agruba has to prove that she is completely free of witchcraft by undergoing a final trial by ordeal.
The hand will come to your place, so you go back.
The chicken has died with its wings upturned, a sign that the gods have given Agruba the go-ahead, and cleansed of witchcraft, she will soon be on her way home with the chief's blessing.
And we are working together so that even if a woman is going, the chief will have to inform us, and after the chief has performed his rituals, we will have to take the woman back, and then as a church, we will make follow-ups to ensure that the woman is living at the community peacefully.
Through Simon and Laraba, the church has helped Agruba and Alima's sons pay most of the fee demanded by the chief for the release of their mothers. Just as Alima and Agruba are about to leave, Mahawa prays for their safe passage home.
Kakum no wayo kaya ne jigman ya bawo kalin ya ngwabo kacha ne kakum na wante dia sorin ya furgi o furgo bagambara na nu famu kazuna da wa alima jigman ngwabro o mo sete parte bamana wanti awo no zaman diawo wa ko zuna go siesa anda be o no bamane mbagambara na fo go sma kazangla namna amara barka ntu so ya so hunta na tana zana na champion an so hunta lamba gwamnati no nyanga o tabta dalili kamara barka ta sa ha kamara barka waya yo ye o ye
Before they leave the chief's custody, Alima and Agriba have to drink a special potion that prevents them from dabbling in witchcraft again. Then, the chief gives their sons a final word of advice. The village of Paragu is notorious for expelling women believed to be witches. So far, 5 of them have ended up at Gambaga.
The chief and the elders didn't want to accept them back. But with our regular visits and counseling, they have come to understand, and now they are ready to accept them.
Sometimes relatives take women home and kill them to erase the stain of witchcraft from the family.
We have got stranger. We have to say it before we sit down. Because they are flaming us.
This time, despite hours of preparation, the village elders aren't very welcoming. The women have to prove that the Gambarana has cleansed them of witchcraft. Even so, unwilling to take any chances, a village elder lays down some cast iron rules. Undeterred by the prospect of living under virtual house arrest, Alima goes to her husband's compound. Now that she's home, Agriba faces daunting challenges. How is she going to adjust to her new life? Will her relatives really accept her? Or will she end up, like others before her, back at the witches' camp?
Nenadam cho jabavyo katam Najram debe.
Were never spoken. The less you associate with some people, the more your life will improve. Anytime you tolerate mediocrity in others, it increases your mediocrity. An important attribute in successful people is their impatience.